o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. I would like to welcome everybody that showed up tonight to our town board meeting. If anybody would like to speak during the public comment tonight during our citizen comment section, if you'd please sign up over there at the table so we make sure that we've got the information there. I do have a few people that might be speaking, Steve Frank and Greg Sullivan, but if there's anybody else, just please sign up. We're going to try to get into the habit of that. I'll put you down there. Okay, so Alice. Okay, so if you'll please join me in a moment of silence to pray for the town. Amen. If you'll please stand with me and face the American flag and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right on time, Al.
How we getting along?
So we are to the point in our meeting where we have a conflict of interest statement, and I'm going to let Al get seated, and then if you would do our conflict of interest statement.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Pursuant to North Carolina General Statutes and the Town of Mocksville's Code of Ethics Policy, adopted November 9th, 2010, amended January 6, 2019, and further endorsed on August 9th, 2022, I would ask each of you before you adopt the agenda if there's any actual, potential, or perceived conflicts of interest with respect to any matter on the proposed agenda, which will come before the Town Board of Commissioners for consideration and/or decision at this meeting. If so, please speak up and let the board know at this time before the agenda is adopted.
Okay. Thank you, Al. There are nothing there to speak of. Let's move on to adopting the agenda.
Any changes?
Are there any additions or deletions to tonight's agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I just will clarify that item number 12, we will need to go into closed session.
Closed session? Okay.
Now move we adopt the agenda.
We have a motion from Rob and a second from Jenny. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. And now it's time for citizen comments. I'm going to ask if Steve Frank would like to approach the podium.
Thank you very much. 14 months ago, I took over as the executive director of the Arts Council. And last week, I popped my head up out of the groundhog hole and started looking around again. It's been an exceptionally busy year. And I just wanted to come out tonight to thank the commissioners for all the support. It's been financial, it's been personal. I'll note Mr. Mayor has read with the volunteers on the elementary students, second and third graders. Lee and Jeanette have provided a lot of input, insight. I feel like we're in a much better spot today than 13, 14 months ago. But I just wanted to come out and say thank you on behalf of the council.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
We have Greg Sullivan here tonight with the Davy Crockett's. Greg, would you like to say a few words?
Sure.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. It's a nice place. And I'm glad somebody else spoke first, so I knew where to stand. But we're very excited. As many of you know, our season starts May 25th is our first home game over at Mando Field. We're very excited. Lee's been great. I know Chris's team's been awesome. So we're excited to see, the community embrace us and to build something together. And, we've got a lot of local players on the team and some guys that maybe, played high school ball or Legion ball here that get to come back and play at that college age group. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You'll see some familiar faces, and we're very excited. I think one thing, while I'm here, I'd like to say that community groups like Arts Council, like if people know nonprofits in the community, churches that might want to work with us in some way, You know, we'd love to have, we like to work with other groups to promote each other. We want to be a gathering place for you guys, so I think it's great. I think they had a great vision for the park. You know, you guys have a really unique asset in Mando Field. You know, not a lot of towns around in the Triad have something like that, and I think being able to activate that this summer and bringing the Davy Crockett's to town, it's going to be a lot of fun. To tell you a little bit about our league, you know, the Davy Crockett's, not only are they bringing in some good baseball players from around the region, including some locals, but we are one of only 4 communities in the Blue Ridge League in North Carolina. There's a team in Albemarle, the Disco Turkeys in Winston-Salem, and a team at Queen's University in Charlotte. We also have teams in the league in South Carolina in the upstate. The old Greenwood Braves Stadium has a team. There's a team in Southwest Virginia that Nolan Ryan made his pro debut. So I think it's really cool that Mocksville gets to be in good company with other towns trying to build something that's something that, you know, attracts people to want to, you know, have families and take jobs in your community, and, you know, kind of gather together, but also, you know, work to get even bigger and stronger. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope to see you all on May 25th. I don't want to say too much, but we might have some big surprises in store after the game. So,
Rick, thank you for coming. We appreciate it.
yeah, thank you all.
Thank you.
And we do have Alice Brown. Would you like to say something tonight?
I would like to thank Bishop Ines, who is a property owner on East Depot, and our executive director of HAP, Heritage Alliance Project. I do want to say to those of you who do not know that this organization is a nonprofit, and the mission of it, Heritage Alliance Project, is to preserve history and to advocate for beautification and safety. The commissioners know that I get up and have been getting up for a long time and many times. And when I first came back home here to Davie County, someone pointed out to me comprehension plan number 2019, comprehension plan, and the East Depot Street area near the railroad track and what was proposed then. And so it's fantastic, encouraging to see this new comprehension plan where we've had people getting together to brainstorm about things that could happen here in the city, and to see that East Depot is still being considered for beautification. So I want to thank you for all that you have done in the past, and we look forward to what you will do in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. So we'll close out the citizen comment section. There's no public hearings tonight, so we'll move right on down to communications from boards, commissions, and agencies. We do have a few proclamations tonight. I would like to enter into the record a proclamation regarding National Law Enforcement Week. We also have a proclamation for National Public Works Week. The proclamation that I would like to read tonight is Older Americans Month 2026, because I think we have our senior services representative right out here in our audience. So whereas May is Older Americans Month, a time for us to recognize and honor Mocksville older adults and their immense influence on every facet of American society, and whereas through their wealth of life experience and wisdom, older adults guide our younger generations and carry forward abundant cultural and historical knowledge. And whereas older Americans improve our communities through intergenerational relationships, community service, civic engagement, and many other activities. And whereas communities benefit when people of all ages, abilities, and backgrounds have the opportunity to participate and live independently. And whereas Mocksville must ensure that older Americans have the resources and support needed to stay involved in their communities, reflecting on our commitment to inclusivity and connectedness. Now, therefore, we, the Town of Mocksville Board, do hereby proclaim May 2026 as Older Americans Month. This year's theme is Champion Your Health, emphasizes the prevention, wellness, and self-advocacy, encouraging older adults to take an active role in managing their physical and mental health. We call upon all residents to join us in recognizing the contributions of our older citizens and promoting programs and activities that foster connection, inclusion, and support for older adults. So it is officially Older Americans Month coming this month. Now that I'm officially an older American, I appreciate this month. So thank you for that. I hope that Senior Services continues to prosper and do well. Did you want to say anything?
No, I would just encourage everyone to continue to be an advocate for older adults in Navy County. I think we do a great job of it.
Here, here.
Thank you. So we'll move on our agenda. Chuck Willis, we have Willis Engineers here with us tonight, USDA project presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The manager asked me to come and give you a brief presentation tonight about a project that the town has been pursuing. It has been on your capital improvement plan for some time. It is the replacement of the Bear Creek Pump Station and the force main that goes from that pump station to Coolamy, to their waste treatment plant. That facility originally constructed in about 2008 or so. Parts of the pump station are older than that, but the main line was done in 2008. It's been extremely problematic, as Brian and his guys will attest. There have been numerous significant leaks and lots of repair anxieties out there related to that facility. The thing that makes this a little bit different is this is a big ticket project and requires some alternative funding to pursue. And so one of the things that the management team wanted to look at was possible funding from the USDA. So the U.S. Department of Agricultural Rural Development Group is in the business of funding somewhat rural water and wastewater projects that are of larger scale. They don't fund little projects, they fund big projects. And one of the things that they do is they make it possible for these big projects to take place because they offer very long-term financing, 40 and 50-year notes, and they do it at extremely low interest rates. And we're hopeful in this case that they may also provide at least 25% grant funding for the project. So it's something worth looking at as a funding source. Another thing that makes it different is that their process is fairly difficult. And so I wanted to give you a little bit of background about the facilities and then the process that we're getting ready to enter into. So the facilities built a while back and then updated a couple of times since then. Have a capacity of about 1,260 gallons per minute. Right now we're utilizing or have committed to utilize most of that capacity. It's important that we recognize that this is not just a capacity project. This is also a replacing an older facility project. So our options for this improvement are not replace it or don't replace it. It's replace it now or replace it later because it's gonna continue to give us trouble. So we wanted to get ahead of that crisis because we know it'll take a while for that project to happen. And basically the facility consists of a pump station. Here's sort of a gloomy day picture of the top of the pump station and a second picture of the pump station and its support building, which houses the electrical gear. The hoisting equipment in yellow there is out of service. The screening equipment on the right, the tower, is out of service. Or is it working now? Okay, it's working now. It's been a real pain. It's very difficult to maintain. So it's been a bit problematic. The mechanical equipment, the pumping equipment has been updated. So we do have some good solid pumps in there. But it's the pipeline really that is the problem. A little bit hard to see in this photograph, but the pipeline is about 4 miles long, something like that, and goes all the way down to Coolamy. It takes a very circuitous route, as you can see. It zigzags all over along different property lines. It was not particularly well constructed. It has a lot of places where the pipe was backfilled with crushed rock or boulders, and it has broken numerous times. Last year we had a spill that was somewhere around 1 million gallons of sewage, which is unacceptable. Luckily, it was in a place that it was contained in a farmer's pond, I think, really, most of it was. So we're able to minimize the environmental impact of it. So it's a big project. The preliminary cost estimate for it is $12 million. And then there'll have to be some sort of associated improvements in Coolamy to transmit it from the point of discharge down to their treatment plant. And one of the reasons we're talking about this now is that the USDA Rural Development Program is so different. They They require an applicant to not just fill out an application, but to also do a preliminary engineering report, an environmental assessment, and a whole bunch of other paperwork. They have a very detailed application process that takes quite a bit of effort to do. So just getting the application before them takes a significant effort. So you selected our firm to assist with this. We're getting help from our friends at Highfield Infrastructure, old friends of mine, who are going to help us with the effort. And you're going to have a budget item in your upcoming budget to fund that initial phase of the work. But is much more substantial application process than anything we've ever done before with any of these grant agencies or funding agencies. So I just want to kind of explain that. Our goal is to get started as soon as you deem it appropriate. If you approve it in this coming budget, it will take a while to do the application and the background work. And then there's a rolling application process that goes through the state agency, the state office of the USDA, and it eventually goes to Washington, and it gets funded on the federal calendar year. So they do their awards in the fall. So it'll be 15, 16 months before we ever even really know how it's going to play out, if they'll make a funding offer. So
Would be probably
difficult-
2027.
Yes. It's a difficult program to work with, which is the only reason why people use it is because it's low interest and they have grants. Otherwise, we wouldn't want to work with them on it because they make us do things like provide construction financing, for example. We have to place a local note to do that. There's a fair amount of legal legwork involved in it, and it's a cumbersome process. It's the federal government. It's a cumbersome process to get money from them, but I think it's probably one to strongly consider here. If they decide not to fund it, unfortunately, part of the work that we're doing won't be very useful for anything else. The other agencies don't require these environmental reports like this or preliminary engineering reports like this in this format. So there would be some wasted effort, but I'm pretty confident in talking with the state director that they want to fund this project. So we had a very productive meeting with them, with manager and staff, and went over the whole process with them and sort of got started on the program. So I just wanted to give you just a little brief update on that. No actions necessary, but I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you may have about that program.
Any questions for Chuck? Thank you, Chuck. I know that when I first came on the board a long time ago, Christine was talking about that line and how it would need to be replaced at some point in time. So it's upon us. So next item is our consent agenda. I just need a motion to approve the consent agenda. I have a motion from Carl and a second from Justin. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes. There's no old business tonight. Moving on, we have a presentation, our annual budget message. Town Manager Lee Rollins.
Thank you, Mayor. So far, so good on the technology. I wanted to give you all a thank you for your willingness to meet with me and with Lynn and our team multiple times over the last 4 months. I want to thank our department heads for all of their hard work and their good thinking as well. We've probably bugged them as much as anyone to make sure that we've got our numbers right. And then last but not least, I want to thank Lynn, our assistant manager, and our finance director. This is her last budget, and I just want to thank her for working as hard on this one as I'm sure she has on all the other ones. And so her guidance and has been extremely helpful to me. So thank you, Lynn, for all your hard work. Let me talk to you in an overview with words rather than numbers on what I think I heard from you and what has been coming out of our update to our comprehensive plan and to our downtown master plan. And one is to make strategic investments to enhance our small town character and charm. We continue to hear that time and time again, even from county residents, about downtown and small town and charm being what they want. So what I have proposed in the budget for your consideration is an in-house planning department. I've already communicated with the county that information, and so there will be a transition period if you adopt the budget as you've proposed. That also will include enhancing our code enforcement efforts as well. That will all be in-house. Then we've got a $100,000 investment that we had budgeted this year. We wanted to wait until we got feedback on the comprehensive plan and downtown master plan. We're gonna put $100,000 in this upcoming budget to revamp our zoning ordinance. Albert Benshoff, our former attorney, made comment often that it needed to be updated. And so that's in the proposed budget for you to improve our development and our design standards. And when I've mentioned it to you, I've seen you do this as we've had our discussions. And then last but not least is our continued focus to sort of resurrect with all Jeanette's good work to make North Carolina an official Main Street community. Number 2 is the renewed investments in infrastructure. I'm asking you to make a significant investment to kickstart our annual street paving and maintenance program, to the tune that I'm asking you to take $513,000 from our fund balance. You're at 222% fund balance to be able to kickstart and then begin moving forward every year, make sure that we invest in our street paving program. To create visual points of entry into our downtown area. That again has come out of our downtown workshops, and you have talked about that as well. And then strategically connect existing sidewalk segments. So that'll go just beyond what has already been approved for Wilkesboro Street and for Yadkinville Road. That's to begin 1st of June, by the way. And then increase focus on our highly skilled workforce. To invest in our employees with a one-time 5% overall pay increase. And then with the 2025 pay study that you approved, we would begin to implement that halfway through our fiscal year to begin January 1st. And then place the right people in the right place at the right time to ensure effective and efficient services to residents and to businesses. This is all something we've talked about, but I want to make sure, in particular, those in our audience sort of know what those priorities are. Town trivia time. Our general fund is balanced at $11,087,740. That's what is proposed for your consideration. You've asked us to keep the tax rate at 29 cents per $100 value, which is what you'll see in the proposed budget. Property tax represents 45% of our revenue stream, and sales tax represents 15% of our revenue stream. So 60% is coming from our local efforts. Our current property valuation is $1.3 billion. That represents 21% of the county's tax base. And our top 10 taxpayers represent 36.4% of total valuation, but overall industrial and commercial is closer to 41%. And then I have been told before that comparison is a poor man's measure. But I think it's interesting to note that current area tax rates you'll see below: Denton, Elkin, Jonesville, King, Mount Airy, Rural Hall, Yadkinville. You see those rates there before you. Bermuda Runs is capped by charter at 15 cents, and so is Village of Clemens. And then Louisville is at 21 cents per 100. They're a little bit larger than us. And the comparison is difficult because we're a full-service community. We contract with our law enforcement. We have full-time fire department, recreation and parks, and then also our public works. Let's talk about water and sewer. Last year, we increased a recommendation based on Raftellus studies. Raftellus also works with Davie County Utilities on their rate setting. We are asking to continue with the projections that Raftellus put forward. Lynn did some good work for us to tweak. So we're proposing an 8% increase for water and sewer. I hope you're able to see on your smaller screen sort of the comparisons on what we call a minimum bill. That's really our base rate. That's what all customers that are tied into our system pay, because you've got capital expenditures that you you have to take care of regardless of the volume of water that you produce. So the current rate for water and sewer for that minimum bill is $95.75. We're proposing that rate increase overall to 103.41. And then if you go to the far right, you'll see what that means on a monthly rate. A lot of people can sometimes forget that you're only paying 6 times a year. So if you break it out to a monthly rate, that's sort of what it draws out to. And then you'll see the proposed increase for every 1,000 gallons of usage after that. I thought it was also interesting for you to see 2026 North Carolina's average bills. That comes from the North Carolina Environmental Center through the School of Government and through the Department of Environmental Quality. There's roughly, I'm going to round it up to 500 utilities. And so you see that average bill, we're not too terribly far off. No one likes increases and no one likes to pay more than they think, but I want you to have the perspective as you think through this process as we head to June 2nd public hearing. And then you see 25, 26, the average increase for water and sewer. And again, that goes from folks with 50 customers to folks with 10,000 plus customers. And I'd be happy to provide you with that report, a PDF document. I'd be happy to provide that to you if you'd like. So that's the overview for you. You have in your agenda packet the details. At this point, I would ask that council take action to hold a public hearing on this issue as required by law at your June 2nd, I think it's June 2nd meeting.
Any questions for Lee on the proposed budget? We do need a motion to call for a public hearing.
So moved.
Motion from Justin
Second.
and a second from Jenny. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes. We will have a budget hearing or a public hearing on June 2nd regarding the budget.
Mayor, we will also put this on our website for folks to look at, and we have a hard copy here at Town Hall for folks that may want to look at it as well.
Thank you. And I know that this is a big part of what we do yearly for the budget. And I appreciate all the work that the department heads and Lee and Lynn and everybody has put into this. I think it's gone very smoothly. So moving on to new business, consider adopting resolution for Municipal Clerks Week, May 3rd through May 9th. And I've got a resolution here.
Page 112, Mayor.
112. I have numbered the pages. Okay. I will read this because this is, our municipal clerk is a very important position that we treasure. And I'm going to read this. Whereas the office of the municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world. And whereas the office of municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants. Whereas the office of municipal clerk provides a professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of the government at other levels. And whereas municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. Whereas the municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. Whereas municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and annual meetings of their state, province, county, and international professional organizations. Whereas it is most important that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the municipal clerk. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Mocksville hereby proclaims the week of May 3rd through May 9th Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our municipal clerk, Emily Quantz, deputy clerk, Lynn Trivett, and to all municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. Ladies, thank you so much for all you do. We need a motion to adopt a resolution for Municipal Clerks Week.
So moved.
A motion from Rob and a second from Justin. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. So we will move on. Item number B, consider an ordinance ordering the town of Mocksville Code Enforcement Inspector to effectuate the purposes of the Mocksville Minimum Housing Code. Lee.
Thank you, Mayor. You have 3 ordinances tonight, one for 1211 North Main Street, one for 133 Etchison Street, and one for 580 East Lexington Road. These are residential units that are not meeting our code of minimum housing. And so our ordinance allows you all to take further action on this for these three properties.
Any questions for Lee on any of these properties?
Motion to adopt.
We have a motion from Carl to adopt, a second from Johnny Fry. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Moving on, item number C, consider adopting a budget amendment number 10. Lynn.
Good evening, Mayor, board members. There are several budget amendments for the general fund to be considered. They're totaling $81,000. The motion should reflect $81,000, not 76. I revised the amount, but I missed updating it on the agenda. Explanations are included, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
So any
This
questions?
is page 122 and 123.
Any questions for Lynn on the budget amendments?
Move that we adopt the budget amendment.
We have a motion from Rob,
Second.
and a second from Jenny. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes. So moving on to item number D.
Page 124, there are various budget amendments for the enterprise fund to consider, totaling $215,933. Explanations are included there, and any questions you might have that I can answer.
Any questions for Lynn on the enterprise fund amendment?
Motion to adopt.
We have a motion from Carl
Second.
and a second from Rob. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. Consider amending a purchase and procurement policy resolution. Lynn.
Yes, page 126. Agenda items E and F are related and should be considered together but require separate actions. I made a few revisions to the purchasing policy to improve clarity and consistency. The most significant change updates was the purchase order requirement threshold is going from $500 to $2,500, aligning it with our budget ordinance. And the policies on page 127 and 141. They just need separate action.
Any questions for Lynn on either of these two items? Then first, we need a motion to amend the resolution for purchase and procurement policy. A motion from Johnny Fry,
Second.
second from Rob. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? And then item number F, consider amending the amended purchase and procurement policy.
So moved.
Motion from Rob,
Second.
second from Carl. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. Thank you, Lynn. Moving to item number G, consider a capital project ordinance Highway 601 booster pump station improvement. I think Chuck has spoke on this. Chuck, do you need to speak about anything else on this?
This is actually a little different.
This is
Okay.
actually a little different,
Okay.
yes. Sure. The reason this isn't a capital project ordinance is because we can't do anything fast enough to get it done in 1 year.
Okay.
So it would otherwise be a budget amendment to make some improvements to the 601 booster pump station and to correct some piping that's down there. We'd like to keep rolling on this because when the water plant in Davie County comes online, we'd rather go ahead and get some of the stuff done before then. But we won't be finished before the end of your fiscal year. So there's a couple different components to it, replacing the generator, which is pretty old, some pumping improvements, and again, some piping, and installing a new meter, which will be the primary meter with which Davie bills you when you become a bulk purchase customer. So
Okay. Okay, any questions for Chuck on this issue?
Yep. Move that we adopt that project ordinance.
We have a motion from Rob
Second.
and a second from Justin. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes unanimously. Item number H, consider the approval of a loan agreement, a promissory note, and payment guarantee between SBA Home and Town of Mocksville Lee.
Thank you, Mayor. If you'll remember, back in the fall, you considered a loan agreement for a building reuse grant from SBA Home. The Department of Commerce did not approve that process for that loan. SBA home was on such a fast track to complete and get in that building that you can't retroactively seek reimbursement for that funds. So what you're seeing here is a loan agreement for a phase two. SBA Home is already looking at expanding their operations. And so what you have before you is a loan agreement that is also coupled with a promissory note and a payment guarantee, which SBA Home was not prepared to do the last time. So I'm looking at our able-bodied attorney, but I feel very confident in recommending that you approve this loan agreement. Ultimately, that $750,000 comes from the federal government through Commerce, Department of Commerce, to us as a pass-through to SBA Home if they fulfill all their obligations. So this requires action by the board.
Any questions for Lee or Al on this?
Mr. Mayor, I'll just say that this sort of process is not atypical. It's in order. There's a bad term referring to a color to refer to bureaucratic actions and requirements, but they're real.
Okay,
And so these things do happen, and this is a good resolution, I think, legally.
okay, thank you, Al. Any other questions or comments?
Move that we approve the loan agreement.
We have a motion from Rob to approve and a second from Justin. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. That is all of our new business. So moving on to communications from town staff. Al, do you have anything you'd like to communicate?
I just communicate one thing. I know that my predecessor talked about it, Mr. Manager mentioned it, but improving your zoning and development ordinances is crucial to survival of a town. We are entering an unusual period in we're in an unusual period in North Carolina when it comes to development, and there's a lot of development desired. It's not always ideal for the leadership of the town or the town because growth comes with pains. But it's good to have a good ordinance because you can regulate it to the extent you can. There's something that's been created in Raleigh that you've all heard about. No one knows what it means. It's a prohibition, or it's basically something about what's called down zoning, which many people will give you a definition of, and they all are incorrect. But it's a prohibition in North Carolina. It's because the law was written without consideration of how municipalities work and regulate. And so it's it's like a 53-mile-an-hour speed limit on an interstate. You can enact that, but in any regard, it's there. So having these regulations are important as you regulate growth. I heard mentioned earlier of a comprehensive plan. That's something to always keep in mind because it is the benchmark under which you can make changes. And in this litigious environment that we're in, if you deviate from the guidelines of a comprehensive plan, you will face, we will call it consternation. So, just wanted to offer that.
Thank you, we appreciate it. Lee?
Thank you, Mayor. Following up on our comprehensive plan, our downtown master plan, Benchmark is now beginning to craft their draft goals and objectives for the comprehensive plan and downtown master plan. They intend to go to the planning board in June to provide sort of those draft goals and objectives before they would come to you all. I think we're going to try to work some level of a meeting with the downtown Mocksville collaborative somewhere between now and the June meeting with the planning board. We have had 3 workshops, well attended. So there's still going to be plenty of time for public input once everything is put together. I want to thank Emily and Lynn for their hard work as clerks. We recognized it last month, but Captain Dwiggins, I want to thank you and Chief Carter and the team for all your hard work and what you do with International Firefighters Day being yesterday. We heard very positive comments on the Daniel Boone Festival. I want to thank Jeanette for her 14-hour day and making sure that no one got hurt and trash was picked up. And her constant, and I say that positively, her constant interaction with folks to make sure she got feedback on what worked and what didn't. And then I want to thank Brian Moore and his team, as always. In a perfect world, he'd have his tasks every day to get done, but there always seems to be others that get in the way. And Brian just says, okay, we'll get it done. So Brian, thank you and your team. And then Greg brought it up earlier. I want to thank Chris and his team for all of their hard work. They don't just do the park in Mando Field. They do so much more, but they have had a full plate between pickleball courts and the Davy Crockett's and Legion and so anyway, just thank him for all his good work. That's all I've got, Mayor.
Jenny, do you have anything you'd like to say?
I can piggyback on Mr. Lee. I just thank all the teams working together and making Mocksville what it is. Congratulations, or we do appreciate our clerks and all that they do. And thanks, Lee and Lynn, for the budget, working with us one-on-one. Well, group together, help us understand more.
That worked very well. Great job on the budget. Enjoyed my meetings. It was nice to have it in an easier to digest method than just large presentations. I really enjoyed it.
I had to make a list.
Uh-oh.
So that's a little levity. Game Festival, outstanding. I was up to about 3 hours in and out. Jeanette, amazing what you were doing with talking with people and handling everything, trash bags to whatever else. But it was really great. To the whole team, Parks and Public Works and Fire Department, everybody, great job as always. I wish Greg Sullivan had not left because I'm the biggest wood bat baseball fan in the building tonight and glad to be sponsoring them as well. So we're excited about having a baseball team. I think it's going to be really exciting. Steve Frank, man, what you've done to turn that around is just outstanding. So appreciate you guys on the Arts Council. Brent slipped out too, I think. Senior Center always does a great job. But the one that really stands out is Alice Brown and your incredible dedication to the bottom of the hill down there and Depot. And I'm honored that we're able to be helping you get a lot of things done down there. And thank you for all you do and for your kind words. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Paul. Justin?
I also got to make it to the Daniel Boone Festival. I thought it was a great turnout this year.
Yep.
Also made it to the Arts Council to the Illusionists a couple weeks ago. Got to go on stage and
You're still here.
make a fool out of myself.
Didn't disappear.
So that was great. But the budget process here was great.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
let's keep that up.
Johnny Fry?
That's it.
I totally agree with what's always been said.
Deal. So I will just mention a couple things. May 7th, which is this Thursday morning, is the National Day of Prayer at the YMCA. And it's a free breakfast. There's no reason why we shouldn't go out and eat breakfast at the YMCA for free. So please attend that. Is that 7 or 7:30?
7:30.
7:30. So please be there at 7:30 if you can. I think there's some local folks speaking at that event. And I had the opportunity, Chris, last Monday to go out to the park and play volleyball with a group of kids that I teach Sunday school. Volleyball courts are full, pickleball courts are full, baseball field was full, softball was full. Everything was happening out at the park that night, and we should be so proud of Rich Park and what we got going on down there. And it's just a great facility, and I'm extremely proud of Mocksville for getting behind Rich Park and supporting it the way we do. Thank you for what your team does. And I know that everybody's been thanked tonight, and I appreciate all that you do. I love our town, and I think everybody up here loves it. And I appreciate all of you do for it. Again, thank you, Lynn and Emily, and I look forward to our next meeting. Jeanette, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Farmers market tomorrow.
Okay, farmers market starts tomorrow.
First
So,
farmers market tomorrow.
Okay.
And then yoga in the park on Thursday.
okay, and cruise in was last night.
And the
It was
Great
huge.
night last night. Big crowd.
God, it was huge.
So lots of great things happening. Let's get out there and support our town, and I appreciate you being here. We need to go into closed session. If I could just get a motion.
I would move that we enter closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318.11 to preserve attorney-client privilege.
Okay, I need a second. Second from Justin. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you for coming tonight. Mission, I just need a motion to adjourn. Motion from Rob, second from Justin. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We are adjourned.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.